If I had to tell my 18-year-old self what to do, I would say, hey, there's some things, you should still go to college. It's definitely beneficial, but there's things you can do that are beneficial while you're there.
17, 18, 19, if you're still in college and you are pursuing a computer science degree, make sure you're on the lookout for some kind of entry-level certification.
When I got out of college, it was hard to find that first job that, you know, everyone expecting to that six figure job, right?
And you got out of college and you felt like, all right, well, where's the money? Show me, show
Right.
me the money, right? And they're not showing you the money.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay,
They show the money that you owe. Like,
right?
You show
right,
us
you're
the
right.
money.
You right. You show us the money,
Right?
and then you end up deferring.
What up, Tech fam? It's Johnnie Tech. I'm here with my guy.
Will Does Tech. What's going on?
This is Just My Tech Sense, where we talk tech and finance. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. Yourself?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right, man. You know, like you said, like you always like to say, feeling blessed. So
Blessed. That's
yeah,
right. That's right.
That's how I feel right now, man. You know.
Yep. Every day above ground, and you know when that day comes where you're not above ground, hopefully,
Now
hopefully you're blessed.
You're starting to get dark, man. That got dark too early, man. I'm all smiling. I'm in a good mood.
Good.
I don't want to go that dark right now.
Yeah. I'm just, you know,
Let's just keep it
is what it
blessed.
is. Yeah, that's
Right.
right. Everything's blessed.
Right.
Yeah. So what's on the docket today? What are we talking about?
Man, you know, it's kind of that old saying you always hear. You know, if I knew then what I know now.
Oh yeah.
You know, what would be
Man,
different?
things would be different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're not getting. We want to keep it to tech though. And there's a lot of things
There's
I wish.
Plenty of things.
You know, I don't have any regrets, but I think, you know, a lot of people like, I don't have any regrets. I always look back and like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have did that. Things
Right.
would have went better if you'd have did this.
Right.
I'm like, what if I would have done that? Like,
Yeah.
I might be a millionaire right
But then you
now.
got the butterfly effect too, and it's like, what's the outcome of that? Yeah, you might have been a millionaire, but
No,
you might have been a target, right?
I don't think
there's
about
so many things, right?
I don't think
Again,
about the butterfly effect. Where I just think all optimism. Like, yeah, if I'd have did that differently,
right.
I would have been in
Then it
the
would be,
league.
then things would have been nice, but
Right.
yeah, now you would have had that Lamborghini, became a target, and you know who knows, right? You know,
Nah, all I think about is the good. You know,
I feel you.
but basically, if we're keeping it to tech, there's a lot of things I like. Just if I had to start over in tech and kind of build my way up now. When I first started, you know, I'm a cyber analyst now, so I went to college and I did a 4-year degree. But like right out of college, it was extremely hard to get a job.
Yeah,
like to get a job that I was expecting to get.
Do you feel like that degree was a waste, or
Sometimes, but
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't tell. Like I would still, if I had to tell my 18-year-old self what to do, I would say, hey, there's some things you should still go to college. It's definitely beneficial, but there's things you can do that are beneficial while you're there. So I
Yeah.
would definitely tell myself like, hey man, while you're in here, you need to pay close attention to what you're going over, because I understand IT better and cyber better now. So I know like what's important, what's not important. So I definitely would get certifications while I'm in school.
Okay.
Because that's going to help you understand what the industry wants and versus what the school is teaching you, and you can kind of combine that together. So
right?
when
That
I
makes
was in
sense.
school, I didn't gather any, you know, I didn't get any certifications. I didn't really know too much about them.
Right.
But I would tell myself
That's
like, hey,
true.
even like I know people say like, you know, A+ is not that good, but like if you're just getting it while you're in school, it's not like you're getting ready to put it to work. But
Yeah.
that could be a good
Yep.
thing for you to pick up on your hardware. So you can go get the easiest certifications to the toughest ones. So by the time you graduate,
Facts.
you're pretty much there. So
Yeah.
that's something I would, you know, definitely tell myself, go to college, gather the certifications to make sure you're still getting industry standards. You know,
Yeah.
internships every summer. Like,
Yeah. So 17, 18, 19, if you're still in college and you are pursuing a computer science degree, make sure you're on the lookout for some kind of entry-level certification. You may not be able to get like CISSP, but you can still get, you know, Network Plus, Security Plus. Get those, have those in your arsenal, right? So when you get out of college, you have that. That's
Right.
one less thing to worry about. So yeah.
And also, like, if you're in school and you're getting like projects done, like, keep track of those
Document.
projects.
That's right. That's
Exactly.
right. That's right. Document it. Absolutely. Keep track of it so you can talk
There's
it.
people on the outside right now. They're home, you know, which is still good. They're building their own home labs. They're coming up with scenarios themselves, but you got people giving you scenarios right there.
Yep.
You just need to keep track of
That's
that.
right.
So if you ever want to go back to it, oh, I did this project. This is how I did it. And maybe you, as you get older into the project, like, well, I did the project this way. Now I know so much more. Let me do that a better way.
Right.
And that's just going to keep building your skills. So like, that's something I would definitely do. I don't have any of my old projects. I don't have anything. Once I got out of school, I was like, oh, that's done. where's my 6 figures? And they were like, where's your job experience?
Right.
Facts.
Because you're right. Because they're giving that to you. They're serving it to you on a platter. Yeah, you're paying, tuition and whatever. Maybe you're on a scholarship and you're blessed, but you're paying tuition, but in the course curriculum, you're getting those things versus, let's say you're not in college, right? Let's say you've kind of gotten past that. You're out in the workforce and you want to switch into the tech industry. Now, the things that we recommend are like these different platforms, like try Hack Me, Hack the Box, where you get these projects versus like when you're in college, you're right. You have somebody that's kind of hand holding you to these projects that you have to do. And again, like you have somebody grading it, but keep that, right? That is not necessarily, it can be considered experience, right? Academic experience, right?
For sure.
So, okay.
No, definitely. And
that's
then,
good.
Lastly about college in general, I definitely think college, I would tell myself to go to college still because it gives you that safe space to fail. Okay. Right? Because like you're on your own in a sense, you're out, you're doing things, but it's still not the real world. Like everybody in college, I know you think you're growing, you're having fun, but you're not the real world. You don't have to really focus on all of your own bills. Sometimes that's getting paid for, whether it's student loans or not. You're still not in the real world where all the stresses of life is there. Everyone's kind of in the same boat. You're going through the same things. Yeah. So it's like a safe space for you to like, make mistakes where it's not going to just ruin your life all in one. So I definitely think that's why I would tell myself to go. You kind of learn. You're going to learn how to network. You're going to learn, how to deal with people. You're going to deal with so many different type of people. Right. You're going to learn so many things. And like a lot of the projects that you get to is like, if you get nervous about public speaking, you don't have to learn that on the job. Like, so your first time getting in front of people won't be at work. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, you bring up a really key point when you talk about public speaking, right? There are public speaking classes in college, and there are things like Toastmasters that are outside of college that you can actually hone in on that skill. But that is a skill that if you want to stand out, you will master the art of communication and learning how to public speak. Right. Like that right there on top of your technical skill will put you head and shoulders above anybody else.
And that's a required course. I took public speaking. I didn't do great. in the class, but I did. Right. I learned
most people
a lot.
Don't, right? It's like a check the block thing, right? It's like you got to take it, but you don't really understand the importance of it until you're out there, and you're like, I probably should have paid more attention to public speaking and actually working on that, because I think it should be longer than a semester. Right. It probably should just be something that you do throughout the
course. But you still get a lot of projects where you get up in front of people. But I think they get it. I did the public speaking like 18, and we had a very tough professor. They're grading you hard. Like, it's like, oh yeah, you're fidgeting. Yeah. You're doing. I'm like, man, this is way harder than I'm expecting. But like, I learned those things. So like, it was helpful to help me be self-aware of what I was doing. Yeah. And the mistakes. So like, even now, like I'm on camera, but I'm doing hand gestures because that helps prove your points and things like that. So
Does it help prove your point? I don't know if it helps prove your point,
man. But it does. Like it helps your flow of your conversation. All right, Right, you turn into my professor.
I got you.
Man, F.
But that's the thing, though, right? It's like I don't know that though you are out of college and you can say, you know what? Let me look back at those years and say, you know what? If I would have failed, at least I'm in college. It is a safe place to fail. But I believe that at any phase of your life, there is a stress, right? Whether it's real life stress, whether it's college stress, whether it's middle school stress, whether it's high school stress. Right. There is a stress that is real to you, right? And you feel that in college. And I would say that public speaking itself in a setting where you are graded, pass or fail A, B, C, D, right? It's not necessarily the safest place because you're like, man, I'm really nervous about this. Somebody is evaluating me. And then based on how I do, which is the real world, which is real life, right? It's real life. Right. But again, I think for like the public speaking piece, and again, I'm an advocate for Toastmasters. I would say go to that. That is if you are not comfortable public speaking, that is a place that you can actually go to where, again, they're not judging you, but you are being critiqued. Right. They're giving you feedback. So when you use ahs, filler words, your nose, so's, they are taking note of those, and at the end, they're providing that feedback.
Right, no, for sure.
So, but yeah, public speaking is a huge thing in tech that we don't talk about. It's just one of those soft skills that, again, if you can master, man, I'm telling you, The world is yours.
Right.
If you can work a crowd, man. That's,
so like, you feel like in your path, did you feel like you were able to pick up on any public speaking throughout your journey, or is something that you would wish you could have done more of?
so I would have done more, and I think for me, like I took it into my own hands when it came to public speaking, and I did do the Toastmasters, and I think like so in the military on the officer side, we do a lot of briefings, but our briefings are very, very structured, right? It's like, you want to get to the point, right, and be clear, be concise, and be done. And I think for me, it's more than that, right? It's okay. Can you combine humor into your speech, right? Can you make a crowd laugh? Can you do all these things that would kind of get to the heart of an individual versus like being like, yeah, we need to go over here at this time. We need to move here at this time. This is what we're doing. So I'm used to that, right? That confidence comes from that. But as far as like being able to work a crowd, like there are things that I wish, just being totally open and honest, that I did more of, that I'm working on when it comes to public speaking. But this isn't a public speaking thing. This is a tech thing. But that being said,
public speaking can be extremely important for your tech career and whatever you're looking to do. So
depending on what if you're trying to be technical and be like on keyboard and not talk to anybody, that's one thing. And again, it's harder to scale from that standpoint. If you're trying to scale, if you're trying to do management, you're trying to like really have to engage people, then you have to work on that, develop that skill. Right.
And like you said, developing that skill can help you get to where your end goal is faster. It's like, as we're talking about it right now, it's like other obstacles that, we could have run into. So definitely I said when I got out of college, it was hard to find that first job that, everyone expecting to that six figure job. So some other things I probably would have done differently is I'm in the Air National Guard now. I would have joined earlier. Yeah. I would have been able to use like, because we talk about experience already, but like I feel like the military is not saying everyone needs to go, but it's what I would do because you're able to go there and gain your experience. I would do the guard route because you can still go to college pretty much full time, and then handle my guard duties on part time when need be. But you're gonna still get the same experience. You're gonna have the opportunity to like physically get hands on experience doing the work. Yeah, and then you can take the skills you learned from college. And if you have to choose the correct career field, so like just don't join if you want to be an analyst or whatever it is in tech, you should do that same career field when you go over to if you decide to join the military or anything like that. I would definitely do the same career.
That's
field.
If you can get it.
Yeah, but
I mean I don't know how the Air Force works. I know with the Army you have to be assessed, right?
Oh, have to. So yeah, you like with the guard, you definitely have to take the ASVAB. But the difference is when you go the guard route, you get to choose your job, whether it's available. It's not like, hey, this was your score. You pick between 5-6 jobs, and then we give you whatever, right? Nah, it's like I signed a contract for this position. Yeah, and not everyone gets that lucky. But as far as maybe like your scores or whatever, but you study and try to get the scores, get the job you want, and then you're building your experience there. So like you're at school gaining experience, and then you go on your part time doing your guard duties. You're gaining experience there, and then. The number one thing that I think that would have helped me is that would have eradicated my student loans because I could have used the military to pay for that. So I went through 4 years of school, got all my learning, expecting to get the 6-figure job. I got out, no 6-figure job. Yeah. 6-figure. Well, I don't have 6-figure, but debt. you know.
But why were you expecting 6 figures?
Because I feel like that's what you're always taught, and you go to school. Once you get that piece of paper, you're gonna get that job, and then coming out of college, like I know, like it's not necessarily saying like 6 figures right off the bat, but you're expecting that high salary. You have high student loan debt. You're just assuming like when I get out, I'm gonna be some type of executive. I'm gonna be here. Like no one's telling you like you had to get out and start entry level. And then those entry level jobs are even hard to get. You're like you're thinking the entry level is like that's for people that didn't go to college. But not really. That entry level was somebody sometimes with a master's degree. Yeah. I think it's just not preached enough. Like all through my life, from high school, middle school on, it's like once you go to college, you're gonna be able to get your dream job. That's how they promote college. Yeah. And and I kind of fell into that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's that's one thing I would have, because I think the military just have so many benefits. I would join, take advantage of their training programs, and definitely use them to eradicate my student loans and kind of build from there, because there's so many advantages, of taking that pathway.
Yeah.
So something I definitely do.
And I agree. Like, again, the military is not the only place to go, but I think it's a valid and a viable option for many. And I think you should give it a second look, because it all the obstacles that we talk about when it comes to, the job market, trying to find a job out here, trying to get experience, trying to get certifications, all these things you can get by going into the military. Yep. And whether that's you do 4 years, 8 years, you do a whole career like myself, all those things that are things that people have to think about, I don't, which has been a huge blessing. All my certifications have been paid for. CISSP, CCSP, PMP, every single one has been paid for by the government. My master's paid for by the government. I passed on the rest of my post 9/11 GI Bill to my son, so I don't have to worry about his college. Like, there are just so many benefits that the military has given me, where I am just at this place in life where, life is good, man. Right. It really is. And even I'm not going to sit here and say, I had to wait 20 years until life became good. Life was good in the military. The experiences I had in the military were great. I mean, of course, we have our good and bad. Right. But at the end of the day, getting to this point and being in the position that I am, it's been a blessing. And again, the experiences to travel the world. I wouldn't say that going to war was the greatest thing, but some of the things I can take out of going to Ramadi, Iraq, or you go into Afghanistan. Qatar was R&R. That's an Air Force deployment. But some of the things that I can take from that is the brotherhood and the sisterhood that was developed when you're in a situation that it's you against the world, right? And that's what it feels like when you're in combat. So I've made some of the best friends by being in some of these situations that I can call on for anything. Right. But like I said, outside of that, the military has, again, as far as public speaking, as far as certifications, as far as experience, they've checked all those blocks for me. Period. So again, it's a viable option for anybody. But if you choose not to do that, there are also other ways to. There are plenty of other ways to succeed.
And I think the reason why we bring up the military is because, like, as I mentioned, like, you go into college, if you go that route. But the biggest thing is when you want to get these jobs, you have to have practical experience, right? So you can have all the book knowledge you want, which you still need that. But companies want experience, but also practical experience where you've actually been in this situation, you know how to react, and you've been trained. That's what the military gives you. But if you can go get that through, like, internships, volunteer opportunities, that's a great way to do it as well. Yeah. And another thing I think, Will mentioned that we didn't touch on that deeply is like the financial aspect of it, right? So during this time, of course, you're waiting whether, like, for myself, like, I'm waiting to get out of school to make the money, but I could have been making money while I'm in school, not collecting debt, and then also building a retirement. And those are things I didn't even think about when I was young. But if I'm telling my 18-year-old self, like, hey, you can make your life way easier if you start, building your retirement now. You have that compound interest going out, working your way. So then by the time you get into your 40s and 50s, you're almost set to where now you have a lot more free income coming in, and you have a nest egg saved up for whether you have a family or not. Like, you just know financially you have something set in place. Right. And if you just wait until you got to school to start these things, saving wise, or if you just build up tons of debt, you're kind of starting behind the 8 ball. And I think a lot of people don't think that deeply. I know I did when I was 18. Yeah. 401k. Who's that? Like, didn't think about that at all.
And you don't. Yeah. If you're not trained or taught, or it's not learned, or your parents, haven't learned that, it's so easy to become slave to the system. Right. Between debt and student loan debt, and with that being really. I'm going to say it's unforgivable, right? They try and forgive it now, but it's still like the type of debt that they're not willing to forgive. And Yeah, I could talk about this all day long as far as like how they go from like, yeah, I'm not gonna dive into student loan,
right, and
issue.
the ins and outs of it. But
Yeah,
like that's just something.
but it's
Yeah,
I mean, it sets you up, right? And you are now slave to the lender for a long time, and you have to work in these you know situations just to pay it back. And
Right.
maybe it's not the best situation for you, but because again you got all this debt built up from college, right?
Right.
And you got out of college and you felt like, all right, well, where's the money? Show me show me
Right.
the money, right? And they're not showing you the money.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay.
they show the money that you owe. Like,
Right,
You show
right,
us the money.
right. You show us the money,
Right.
and then you end up deferring them until nah.
Yo,
Anyways,
that's like it's like that could be a whole nother topic, but like definitely. So as you like, but in general, like to make things better, these are things you can do. Like if you're gonna go the college route, make sure that you're doing things to enhance your skills while you're in college. Don't just focus on getting a degree. You get your degree, make best grades possible, so you can gather great internships, get certifications while you're doing that. I would personally, I would still join the military, but I'll do it earlier to gain that experience, use their training for development, as well as, use them to pay for my college in order to not have debt, as well as use them to build financial stability for myself as well. So those are all things I would do. And I think that where I am now, I'm at a great place, but I might have been here, 3 to 4 years earlier than I am now. So
right. And if you're past that point in college, then your pathway may be to volunteer locally, like volunteer at, some business or some church or something where you feel like, okay, you know what, I can do IT support. Maybe they're a smaller company and they can afford IT staff, and you say, I'm going to work your help desk.
Right.
You got issues with your computers, with your tech, call me and I'll go ahead and I'll be that person. That way you can transfer that to your resume and say, hey, I've been tech support, for this company. I did it for 4 years, right? Now you have that experience, right? On top of that, you can get on platforms like Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, and you can also do projects there, right? So this is for people who, again, if you're in college, you can do that too. If you're, again, not going the college route, then take a look at some of the recommendations that I am making right now in order to get that experience, right? And then also get a baseline certification. And then depending on, like, if you know the job that you want to go for, maybe you get a vendor-specific certification, whether it's like, Cisco CCNA, maybe it's a Splunk certification, something that would show the employer, yeah, I know how to work with these technologies and I'm certified to do so.
Right. 100%. I 100% agree with that. Like everything you said is something that I would do. Like if you're not going the college route, definitely take advantage because everything you do is part of your duty. So like I said, if you are, coming in fixing computers or whatever you can do, add that to your resume because all experience, it all counts. So for sure, I definitely do that. Yep.
It all counts. So, but yeah, I think that was good on this subject. If we could do it all over again, those are the things that we would do. And so that was just our tech sense.
Yep.
And we appreciate you guys and girls and everybody just listening and staying tuned. And we look forward to your feedback and some of the things that some of the questions you may have for us. So this is just my tech sense, and we'll talk to y'all.